I'm going to show you how to do spider's web stitch, and spider's web stitch is also known as whipped circle stitch, but today I'm going to show you this so that it looks like a spider's web. I first used this stitch in our Halloween kit to make a garland of witches' hats, and I used this to actually look like a spider's web. If you were doing it as a whipped circle stitch, then you'd use a slightly tighter tension, and that gives an effect that looks more like a flower, but the technique is the same for both. So to start off with, you want to bring your needle up in what is going to be the centre of your spider's web, and then you're going to make a series of stitches like this, coming up from the middle each time and going to the outside, that form something that looks a bit like a circle. And you'll see this is a little bit wonky, and that's okay because a spider's web would be a little bit ununiform, and so that's okay. And I'm going to do 5 spokes for this spider's web, but you could actually do more or less than that. And so you want to create your first series of stitches, which is forming the structure of your spider's web. And then you're going to bring your needle up really close to the centre. And to begin with, you're going to slide it under your first spoke and try not to catch the fabric as you do this. And then you're going to do exactly the same thing, and you're going to bring it back under that same spoke. And that anchors your thread to the stitch, because you don't actually go back through the fabric now until you're finished. And then you're going to do exactly the same thing on the next spoke. So for every spoke, you're going under the thread twice. The first time positions your thread in the right place, and the second time forms that anchor. And then keep working your way around. And because I want this to look like a spider's web, I'm not going to do these this kind of anchoring on each spoke too tightly, because I want to be able to see the fabric behind. And you literally keep working all the way around until you've filled up all of your spokes. And so once you're done and you've filled the last of those spokes up, put your needle through to the back of the fabric, just at the end of that last spoke, and fasten your thread off. And then you can trim your cotton there. And as you can see, that gives you a spider's web stitch. And as I said at the beginning, I've just left the tension on this quite loose so that you can still see the fabric, and so it looks like a spider's web. But you could do this much tighter, and so that will give you an effect which looks more like a flower or a woven circle.